Hi, I'm Brianna, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? You know, it's pretty interesting because I always tell you there's been so many Mexican fighters that have come out and criticized Canelo Alvarez for who he decides to fight, or at least when he decides to fight them in their career. Fighters like Eric Morales, Juan Manuel Marquez, Marco Antonio Barrera, and the majority of the Mexican media from Mexico, the boxing analysts, have all pretty much been saying the same things that you hear me say, which is the truth. But there's another Mexican guy that said something speaking to truth, and that's Canelo Alvarez's own promoter, Oscar De La Hoya. Oscar De La Hoya said, in order for Canelo to be great, because that's what he wants to be great, he's going to have to fight Charlo and Demetrius Andrade. Now, this is the kicker. Get this. What I just quoted, Oscar De La Hoya saying, he said this a year ago. And what's so crazy about this is to see where Canelo is today. So a year ago, Canelo's promoter, he said he's going to have to fight Charlo and Andrade to be great. A year later, Canelo Alvarez, he vacates his belt to avoid the same guy De La Hoya said he's going to have to fight to be great, Jermall Charlo. He vacated his belt because he was being forced to fight Jermall Charlo. And see, guys, this is why I don't understand why Canelo Alvarez fans, instead of them saying, yeah, bring on Charlo, I want to see that fight, instead of them putting pressure on Canelo to take the fight, they're creating distractions and deflections by saying, hey, well, why doesn't Charlo just fight Andrade? This is what I don't understand. It makes no sense. What does Canelo Alvarez giving up his belt to avoid Charlo have to do with Charlo versus Andrade? Jermall Charlo didn't give up his belt to avoid anyone. Demetrius Andrade didn't give up his belt to avoid anyone. Canelo's the only one at 160 doing this. Now, getting back to Oscar De La Hoya's point, you know, I truly believe that Oscar De La Hoya has been frustrated. I believe there's serious turmoil behind closed doors when it comes to Golden Boy versus Canelo. You guys probably recall a couple of weeks or a couple of months ago, Oscar De La Hoya, or Canelo Alvarez rather, he came out and just blast Oscar out of nowhere. And I truly believe it's because Oscar De La Hoya, he wants Canelo to fight all of these guys. He wants him to fight Golovkin, Andrade, and Charlo. And I think it's creating a rift because Canelo doesn't want to fight those guys. You notice Oscar De La Hoya, he never really made a statement on why Canelo Alvarez vacated his WBC belt. See, what you have to understand is Oscar De La Hoya, he was a fighter that fought all of the best fighters at the welterweight division when he fought at 147. He fought Sugar Shane Mosley, Felix Tito Trinidad, Ike Corte, and Pernell Whitaker. All of these guys he fought in the same division. So Oscar De La Hoya, he fought the Jermall Charlos, the Demetrius Andrades in his division. And this is the reason why Oscar De La Hoya said a year ago that Canelo's going to have to fight Danny Jacobs, Demetrius Andrade, and Jermall Charlo to be great. We know Canelo has already fought Danny Jacobs. We also know, and you guys heard me say on previous videos before Canelo fought Danny Jacobs, that Canelo, he sees Danny Jacobs as the weakest link. Not only because he already had 2 losses on his record and had already been knocked out, but he didn't look that impressive in his Darren Yevchenko fight. In fact, when I did my Danny Jacobs, Darren Yevchenko post-fight video, I told you guys I would not be surprised if Canelo now calls out Danny Jacobs. And that's who Canelo ended up facing next. But the difference is, when it comes to Charlo and Andrade, they're undefeated. They've never been knocked out before. So clearly, if Canelo could beat one of those guys, the win would be far more impressive. But Canelo, he knows what he has to go through to get a win like that, and it ain't going to be easy. He knows it's not going to be easy. Do you guys notice, at least 90% of the time, you never hear professional boxers corroborating the same things that you hear fans on the internet say to defend Canelo Alvarez? 9 times out of 10, they're usually saying almost word for word what I've been saying to you guys, which is the whole truth. We know Oscar De La Hoya. You can't say Oscar De La Hoya is hating on Canelo if he says that Canelo has to fight Andrade and Charlo to be the best. He's saying that because this is what he did in his career. This is the reason why fighters like Erik Morales, Marquez, and all these other guys are also pretty much saying the same thing. See, the thing is, Oscar can't say it the way Erik Morales said it or the way Marquez said it because Oscar, he promotes Canelo. And Canelo would have a serious fit if Oscar said that. Canelo would try to challenge Oscar to a fight like he tried to challenge Marquez to a fight, right? And then he'll probably try to even bolt out of his contract. Oscar De La Hoya, Marquez, Morales, and all of them, Chavez Sr., they're all speaking facts when they talk about Canelo Alvarez. And even the fans on the internet and Canelo fans in general, they know that what these guys say and what I say is true, but they're just going to be loyal to their gang no matter if Canelo is right or wrong, no matter if he's cherry picking or not. And I say, Canelo fans, if you want to keep doing that, that's your prerogative, but you're not helping Canelo. The walls are closing in, and you guys are not helping him at all. If Oscar De La Hoya is saying that Canelo Alvarez needs to fight these guys to be great, that makes it impossible for you guys to justify Canelo Alvarez's actions right now. Once again, Canelo's own promoter believes that Canelo has to fight Andrade and Jermall Charlo to be great. Notice, Oscar De La Hoya is not using any of the Canelo Alvarez fans' talking points. He's not saying, well, why doesn't Andrade fight against Charlo? He's not saying, they're bums, who have they fought? No, he's saying the complete opposite. He's putting pressure on his own fighter to step up and be great, just like we've been putting pressure on Canelo Alvarez to take on the toughest challenge in his own division. With that being said, I'm gonna wrap this video up. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one.